Now that we have everything, all of the sprites for our game set up here, we want to work on the physics. Now, there are really only 3 of the sprites that we created last time that are going to need physics. That's the puck, the red player sprite, and the blue sprite as well, which is going to kind of be in the way. So let's add physics bodies to each of those 3 things and see what happens. So we've added all 3 physics bodies to the 3 things, and you notice that all of the sprites now fall to the floor. Now this is a good thing. This tells us 2 things. Number 1, it means that physics is working on these 3 objects. It also tells us that the physics body that we set up in the beginning, specifically this, where we create an edge to our whole scene, we can see that that is also working because these are not falling through the scene. What we want to actually do is turn off gravity, though. So let's do that here. And so when we do that, you can see that now nothing is moving. Now, nothing is also happening because there's nothing in our scene that actually has a speed, or we can't interact with it in any sort of way. So, of course, it makes sense that nothing is really occurring. So let's now add an event so that we can take this red player sprite and move it around and use it to hit the different things in our scene. All right, so what I want to have happen is when I click in the red sprite and drag it, what I would like to have happen is that the red sprite sort of follows me around so that we can use it in this game to kind of hit the puck. So let's set that up. In the template, if we scroll all the way down, we have this event touches began and also touches moved. So we can try this one right here, and we could say when a touch is dragged across the screen, let's say that we want the red player sprite dot position to be the location. And now you notice that we get this error. And the reason we get this error is that we have defined all of our sprites inside of our didMove function. So this right here. And one thing we've talked about, or I've shown you in a few of these examples, is that defining the sprites is a really important thing to do outside of the didMove function if you want to interact with it in any way. This gets to a concept that's called scope in the computer science world, and the idea is that if I create something inside of the didMove function, nothing outside of the didMove function is going to be able to use it. And so when I go down here to the touches move function, I get this error message saying it doesn't know what red player sprite is. So here is how we fix that. So by putting this here, the red player sprite is it's owned by this game scene. And so now that I define it here, any of these functions that refer to red goal sprite, that refer to red player sprite, are going to be able to use it because it was defined outside of this function. We actually want to do this for all of our physics nodes, sprite nodes, and we'll want to do it for the goals as well a little bit later. Okay, so we can now see we've moved all of these sprites outside of that didMove function, and we're not getting any errors now inside, because all we're doing inside of the didMove function is just setting the properties on each one.